Have you ever wondered what a future society looks like 1,000 years from now that is better than our current situation? I know I have. And I had sat down to meditate and to ask that question for myself when they asked me, they meaning the beings that I was channeling, which is a hybrid version of humans in the future, that I was tuning into to ask that very question. Where do we need to place our awareness, our presence, our focus on now to move us into a path where there is equality for all, where there's kindness and compassion for all, where everyone's value is seen, is heard, and is held. So they had me flip the screen on. So the video that you're about ready to watch, I wasn't prepared to make. But I flipped the screen on and there's the channelings. Come back into your body, ground, get some water, open your heart. Imagine your heart chakra opening and expanding so that you can take in the vibrations, because even more than the words that are being spoken in this video is the energy that they were wanting you to feel, or that they desire for you to experience. I was not planning on recording anything today, but as soon as I sat down to meditate and spend some time with myself, I had an overwhelming desire to channel. So the beings I am going to channel today, they are a hybrid species. This channeling, it is a suggestion how to navigate and live a day-to-day routine. We see you as largely uncentered beings, as largely a disconnected group of beings that are scrambling in the dark to find the light. It is coming to our awareness that there are more that have found the switch and turned it on. But even those that have turned it on are now maneuvering through the field of noise and chaos, wondering how to live a conscious life with purpose, with meaning, in a way that promotes well-being for all. There is place and time for all to become united behind one such driving force, a desire, a shared desire to become a unified voice of reason. There will always be differing opinions on how best to achieve one such goal, but the differences you see now suggest valleys so deep they cannot be crossed, because the overarching theme for a desire to have a general sense of well-being for all has not yet taken form. There are many still who do not care about their neighbor. There are many still that only see themselves reflected back in the mirror. There are many still that do not appreciate the wealth of knowledge everyone carries. Everyone has meaning, the meaning they give their life. Everyone has value, or else they would not be here. As long as you see value, whether you agree with the meaning they choose or not, when you can see value in everyone, you'll know that you have reached the overarching theme of well-being. Well-being is a simplistic label of kindness, a simplistic way of saying everyone has care, shelter, warm, healthy food in their bellies, that everyone feels and knows there is someone there to lift them. Can you imagine a planet in which everyone feels this, what would the root chakra look like if it was void of scarcity, lack, and fear? What would the sacral look like if it was void of self-abuse? What would the solar plexus look like if everyone felt empowered? What would the heart chakra look like if it was open, full of love, without a wall? What would the throat chakra look like if it was clear, if it was open? What would the third eye look like if we saw past illusion, if we saw into the seat of the soul of another? What would the crown look like if it was connected to all? In the future where we reside, we see many, if not all, possible outcomes all the time. We see different layouts, different imprints. We see the reactions, the chain of events that occur cosmically, intergalactically, within our own atmosphere, with the choices that we as individual souls make. So we take great care and great responsibility with every word that we share, with every thought that we process, and every emotion that we allow. We do not have as broad of a range of emotions as you. You are loved. You are kind. You will rise and fall many times on your way to traveling down the road of the overarching theme of well-being, of compassion and kindness. Begin to dream about a future that holds this vibration. Who do I need to become now? Where am I aligned now? Where am I not? Where do I need to elevate my speech? Where do I allow it to leave? We trust you will hear and receive this message with love, with an open heart and mind. Thank you for allowing us to greet you. We are a hybrid race of beings here to assist in the most benevolent way. What they were talking about, they talked about well-being. Well-being is where there's equal importance for everyone, a sharing of perceptions. They were talking about the problem that we most have here right now on Earth is we still get stuck, even when we're consciously aware, we're still getting stuck in the glue of emotions. They were saying that they don't carry, the future species of us don't carry as broad of a range of emotions that we do, because they don't get stuck or go down the rabbit hole far enough to feel things like depression, to feel things like self-sacrifice, to feel absolute shame and unworthiness, because everyone has value. They've worked their way up the scale of emotion so that they're the lowest. I mean, I'm not going to say, because I didn't even ask, what their lowest emotional vibrational frequency would be in our terms, whether that's just neutrality or anything else, uncertainty maybe. But we are learning how to become really present. And that's why I wrote the book called The Unity Method. That's why I've taught a course called The Unity Method. It is teaching us a process to become aligned with a timeline, with a reality that allows for equality for all, in which everyone has worth, has value, where we're not shaming each other or judging each other or holding on to a belief that's not serving anyone because we want to be right. So, the process in the Unity method, which was a channeled process from the soul of my oldest son, who has Down syndrome and autism, and from a counsel, was a process in which we can work ourselves through internal unity consciousness. Internal unity consciousness brings us into a high state of coherence between each of our energy centers. So we don't get stuck in the lower emotional states. You might still touch them at times, but the availability to move through them at a much quicker rate without becoming stuck in the muck of them is much, much easier. I'm not saying I'm a perfect mom because I'm definitely not. I have moments of probably shouldn't have done that. Or my kids will tell me I'm projecting. I'm a pretty, normal mom, but we do talk through emotions often. And one of my teenagers just got asked by another teammate, how do you move through things? How do you move through emotions of failure if you didn't perform well? I never see you mad. I never see you really upset. And he said, maybe I see it for an instant, but then I see you centered again, ready to get back out on the field again. And he said, well, I accept it. I just accept the experience that I just had, and I choose to make it work for me. And I take a breath and I let it go. And it can really be that simple. But we've been working this process in our home because of my oldest son for a really long time. He is highly, highly affected by our emotional state. So we as a family had to learn how to really dial in on our emotions and take responsibility for moving them through, not locking them down because he can feel that too, but moving through what we feel, coming back to a neutral state and letting things go. And that's the gift that he's given us. I mean, there's a million gifts that he's given us, but so it's become a daily practice. So those are very common compliments that I get on my two younger kids, often from teachers and counselors in the schools and other parents who have friends with them. It's not because we're an amazing family. It's because we've been trained by my oldest son because that's what he needed. But also that training that he took us through as a family really works and has elevated our state of being significantly from how I was when I was growing up. This internal unity method of giving your neurological system, your physiological system, your biology, a process to move through the range of emotion so that you can swiftly come back into a state of neutrality, so that you can utilize all that energy to promote a reality of well-being, of kindness for all, is vital to humanity for us if we really want what we say we're wanting as a community. We say that we want well-being for all, but have we really given thought to what that looks like? What does that feel like when we sit down at a table full of differing opinions? Can we share a perception without feeling like we need to convince the person next to us to believe what we believe? What would a sense of safety feel like sitting at a table where everyone feels absolutely safe and empowered in their body to just share openly? It's almost inconceivable that we could do that considering the state that we're in right now. And it's difficult for us to even begin to wrap our minds around what that energy would feel like or what it would look like. But that's what they're asking us to do. And we have to do it within ourselves first. We have to alchemize our own stuff first. We have to get settled into the body first before we can share this as a community. So I've got resources in my free library. I'll put the link to that below. There's a root chakra upgrade that would be incredibly beneficial for anybody that has not gone through that in that free library. You can sign up for that. I'll put the link there. You can read my book, The Unity Method, that guides you through. Each chapter has a process and it has a story. So every concept that we talk about, you're seeing it in real life, how it was worked through, and then it's followed up with a process to guide yourself to be empowered to move through it after each chapter. There's a course on my website called the Unity Method course that has actually 2 courses within it to guide you through this process. Whatever methodology you take that works for you to teach yourself, to teach your body, to teach your mind, to teach your ego, to align and become a united front within. That is what's going to gift us the power, gift us the internal power to create a reality, to step into a reality as a society where we're doing this as a collective. So, thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe below. It really helps me keep the content going and knowing what we want. You can share, comment about what your future reality dreams are for society. What do you want to see in the future? What do you want to experience in the future? What do you want to feel in the future? Share it with us below so that we can start to build this vision together. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. So much love.